5-4, the other of this one. Part A and Part B, we are doing the journal entries from both perspectives. We're going to do it first from Tucson's perspective, and then the second part we're doing it from the seller's perspective. So on June 10th, we're doing it from Tucson's from the buyer's perspective first, up in Part A. We bought inventory for $8,400. The only difference with what this one does and how we're doing it is they account for the shipping separately as you go. So that the shipping didn't actually get paid until the next day. So we don't even know what the shipping is. So we can't include that in our June 10th entry. So on June 10th, I simply just bought inventory on account for $8,400. On the 11th is where the freight costs come in, and I need to determine, am I going to add that freight cost, or is that the seller's responsibility? Well, since it says FOB shipping point, and if I look back to the notes that I had, FOB shipping point says it's the buyer's responsibility, and I need to add it to the cost of my asset. And that was $520. And it tells us that we went ahead and paid that. The key here for this one is to show that it's not an expense. On the 12th, damaged goods totaling $300 are returned for credit. And it says the fair value of these goods is $230. Okay. That fair value of those goods isn't relevant to me as the buyer. That's for when we get to Part B, from the seller's perspective. That's what they would have probably bought them for. Although it doesn't have to be. But that's kind of how you might want to think of it. So damaged goods of $300 are returned. So I get $300 off of my bill because I got rid of inventory valued at $300. Now, the last one on the 19th, when payment's made, I probably want to be keeping a T account off to the side that shows how much that I owe. I owed $8,400 for my first T account, and then on the third T account, I took off $300, so I owe them $8,100. When I make a payment on my bill, I want it, and it says Tucson pays it in full. I want to get rid of the $8,100. I want to show that I paid cash. And this is where I would do it off on the side. How much discount did I get? And how much was the final payment? discount is going to be on $8,100 times what they tell us. They tell us 210 net 30 up at the very top. So times 2%. 2% of 8,100 be 162. So I get $162 off of what I originally owed, $8,100. So I'm going to credit the inventory for that discounted amount, credit my cash for the 7,938, I think. Then I'll let you guys take over the rest on Part B. The two things that you definitely need to know for Part B is when the fair value of the goods are returned. That's kind of like doing the reverse entry to the original cost of goods sold. This is what the items were originally purchased for. And then down here they tell you the merchandise, they sold it for $8,400, and this is what they originally paid for it. So this would be their cost of goods sold amount when you're looking at the seller's point of view in Part B.